blessed ambassadors, welcome to today's edition of What's on My Mind. Hey, for those of you that are thinking about exercising, just consider this. That exercise sounds a lot like extra fries. So maybe your exercise is to have extra fries. Just throwing it out there for you guys. Okay, hey, so about 6 weeks ago, I'm just minding my own business, watching the basketball finals, enjoying the game because the team I was rooting for was winning, when out of nowhere, the Lord drops this truth bomb into my spirit. And ambassadors, it was such an amazing moment because, it lasted for maybe a microsecond, but in that microsecond, it's like I had the complete truth and I knew what it was. And I knew that there was 3 parts to that truth. So since then, I've been meditating on it and talking to the Lord about it. And he keeps revealing more and more and more. But it's all within the context of what he dropped into my spirit in that moment. Okay, so before I tell you what it was so personal. It was so aligned with who I am, who I'm becoming, my journey with him, that I thought for sure this is just for me and that it would never cross my lips to share it with you. And so for about 2 weeks, that was the case. Just like it was so amazing that I'm talking to the Lord about it. He's revealing more and more and more. And then out of nowhere again, he said, okay, now it's time to share it. And I'm like, whoa, hold the phone. Hold the phone. Share it because you'll see in a second, it was very, very, very personal, very vulnerable to share. But you know the Lord, right? Like he'll invite us to do something like that and they go silent. So that's what happened. And I'm trying to talk him out of it, right? Lord, but very, very personal, very vulnerable, and silence. And then Pastor Josh preaches his amazing message for a couple of weeks ago. And he said this, which the Lord, I feel like I pictured him doing this, like, and it was this. Pastor Josh said, you don't preach your life experiences, but you also don't exclude your life experiences from your testimony. So that was the first thing. And like I said, the Lord, I felt like the Lord was going, hey, did you hear that? Okay, so then still over the next week, I'm meditating on it and talking to the Lord about it and still trying to talk him out of it. But I knew that he wanted me to share this with you. And then Pastor Sam's message from this past Sunday just really sealed the deal, because as Pastor Sam is sharing his message, and I'll tell you the correlation in a second, but as he shared his message, I realized, yep, this is something, definitely for me, what Pastor Sam was sharing, what the Lord shared with me, but also for you. So here we go. And okay, so I'm just sitting there, minding my own business, watching the basketball finals, when the Lord drops this truth into my spirit. The truth was this: the blessing of a broken heart. The blessing of a broken heart. It sounds like an oxymoron, right? Or contradiction, whatever word you want to use, a paradox. The blessing of a broken heart. And so I'm thinking, what in the world? And then he shows me that is definitely one of my life experiences that has blessed me and may bless someone else. Okay, so for me, the broken heart came because a relationship that I really desired, that I thought was the one, it ended. And it was very painful, it was very hard, and wow, the pain and everything I went through was truly heartbreaking. Now that was for me. Now for you, the broken heart may be that you had a hope that was deferred, right? And we know what the scripture says about that. Or maybe you had a dream that was crushed. Or maybe that chronic physical pain or chronic financial lack or that chronic relationship challenge keeps coming up and keeps breaking your heart. So ambassadors, hear me when I say broken heart. For me, it was like not literal, but it was my experience. And then maybe for you, it's a metaphor for something you went through or something you're going through, right? Okay, so as I mentioned, there's 3 things the Lord dropped into my spirit along with the blessing of a broken heart. The first thing was this, and this is So the Lord, right? It's like, look for the good in the broken heart. So I'm like, what? Look for the good in this broken heart. My heart is breaking here. It was breaking. It was broken. It was in pain. But then he said, look for the good. So I started thinking about that, ambassadors, and I realized what he wanted me to see. That the only reason I could have that broken heart is because I truly loved this woman. Right? I truly desired to be with her. And I feel like I truly loved her completely. I did not love her perfectly, for sure, because I'm still me, but I did love her completely. And it's only because I loved that way and gave myself that way that there could be a broken heart when it ended. So for you, ambassadors, I would ask, think about whether it's the hope, the dream, the challenge that's ahead of you. Look for the good in it, because I think of Jeremiah 17:7. Blessed is the man whose hope is the Lord, whose trust is in the Lord, or whose trust is in the Lord, whose hope is the Lord, right? And then how it describes him. But so for me, it was look for the good in that, because that's not where he leaves us, right? That we may be in the period of brokenness, but he doesn't leave us there. So we can find, and I pray you will too, find the good in what brought us to this point. So that was the first thing. Look for the good in what caused a broken heart. The second part was this, ambassadors, and this is where I feel the emphasis is to encourage you if you're going through this right now. As I was experiencing that broken heartedness, I truly encountered the Lord's grace like never before. The enemy would torment me with images and pictures, and I learned to say, and this became my truth, this became my reality, his grace is sufficient. That even if that were true, even if those images were true, or that torment was true, his grace is sufficient. And I became dependent on his grace and his grace alone, the supernatural grace, the supernatural favor and peace, and not on knowing the situation. So for you, ambassadors, if you're going through that right now, I just want to speak over you that you also will learn that his grace is sufficient for you. You'll learn it, you'll know it, you'll believe it, and it will become part of who you are. All right, so just look for the good in whatever caused the pain. Right, second, his grace is sufficient and it will carry you through. Okay, and this is the last thing, and it's the third thing that the Lord showed me, and this is true for us, that he will turn everything for our good, that he works all things together for our good. And in that moment that he dropped this truth bomb into my spirit, I knew this, that because of the blessing of a broken heart, I heard this, that I've transformed you into a better man. I've transformed you into a good husband, a good provider, a good friend, a good partner. Because the truth is, previously, whenever a relationship had ended, I would just say, see ya, and I'm moving on to the next one. In God's love for me, in God's grace for me, he didn't allow me to move on, because there was some correction that had to be done. There was some pruning that this guy needed, right? And that goes back to Pastor Sam's message, that the Lord corrects those he loves. And in the correction, he does it so that he can promote you. And regardless of what happens, ambassadors, I just feel like he has promoted me because his grace is sufficient for me. And I know that, and I depend on that. And the other thing is, he has transformed me away from the person I used to be through the pruning, through the correction, everything. And let's face it, I needed that. Well, you don't know that, but I know I needed that. So that now I pray that I am a better husband. I am a better friend. I am a better partner. I'm a better provider. And everything that a woman, a partner would want in a man, I believe the Lord is, and he continues, but he has helped me transform into that person, right? And I say he's helped me. It's not this guy, it's him helping me so that it's real, right? And it's solid, because my foundation is not in me, it's in him. So ambassadors, if you're going through something right now, I pray over you that you see it eventually, right? Because in the moment, it really, really stinks. And I've told the Lord that. But that you see there's a blessing in the travail. There's a blessing in that challenge. There's a blessing in whatever you're going through. And if nothing else, the blessing is this, that it causes you to run to the Lord, to depend on the Lord, and to know his goodness in the land of the living in the midst of your struggle. So mostly it's this. I felt very loved by the Lord when he downloaded this. And I continue to feel loved by the Lord as he continues to reveal more and more and more of what he has for me. So I pray that for you. I encourage you in that way, that whatever you're going through, he will work it for your good, right? And you will, I declare this by faith, you will say, Lord, thank you for blessing me with that broken heart, because it truly showed me who you are and helped me through it. All right, guys, I was really nervous about sharing that because it's so vulnerable, but the Lord gave me strength. His grace was sufficient for me to share it with you. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you soon. Peace out.